This man's speed is comparable to lightning, facing bullets from the enemy. He swings from side to side and can easily defuse. One move immediately seals the opponent's throat. Even the special forces sent by the military. In the end, they all become men's ghosts by the sword. He was a top assassin of the Yakuza. He was nicknamed the Clawblade Demon. Angry at an organization that kidnaps young children to train them as killers, Toshiro decided to save the girl. He parted ways with the organization. They became anonymous and worked as a cashier in a supermarket. To live in peace. Even if someone robbed them, he silently handed over the money, and then took out his wallet to make up the money. Even so, he couldn't escape the Yakuza's pursuit. Phantom has ordered to clean up the portal. That day, Toshiro was out walking with his little girl. As a killer, he felt the danger approaching. He let the little girl go home first. He went to the square calmly. His eyes were like radar. At that moment, a man was staring at him. He felt a chill down his back. Suddenly he dodges the bullet fired by the killer. He also borrowed a pen from a passerby, and he then inserted the pen into the magazine. The killer didn't even have time to pull out his gun. Toshiro's throat was sealed by a stroke. He thought that after the battle, he would be able to get a moment of peace. That's why he told the girl he was safe. Little did he know that a sexy female assassin was approaching. Two men molest her in the elevator. The woman knocked the men to the ground. It turns out she's a Yakuza assassin. Today, she was ordered by the Phantom to clean up the place. Unexpectedly, she was harassed by two hoodlums in the elevator. Then she found her target outside the door. In order not to scare the snake, she took off her high heels and pulled out a dagger. She sneaked up behind Toshiro. The sound of the fight made the little girl feel uneasy. Toshiro immediately used the phone line to control the killer. He told the little girl that he was dancing. He then went to the entrance of the supermarket. Quiet alley but hidden murder. They look like ordinary people, but they are all masters. Back at the store, he looked to his right and left. The killer's instinctive reaction made him realize the store is not safe either, so he went to the shelves to look for weapons. Putting screwdrivers, wrenches, shovels, and scythes in the basket. He also heats a chicken leg meal for himself. The killer hiding behind the shelves doesn't know. The mirror on the top had already revealed them. A massacre starts again. While the fight was over, the chicken leg rice is also just warmed up. He was about to get up to eat, but there was a movement behind him. Then he wipes the blood from his chopsticks. Then he gobbled it. He had already packed his weapon. This is when his best friend came late. While they were exchanging tips on how to use their weapons, Toshiro suddenly received the news that the girl had been kidnapped. Through the cell phone location, the location of girl is in the Yakuza's lair. To give her a better future, and to atone for his sins, he also wants to eradicate the vicious and brutal Yakuza. He was calm and collected in the face of the snipers. He dodged Voldemort's attack. He wanted to sneak around and attack. He didn't expect a trap, but he didn't take these two men seriously. To save the girl, he had already made a precise plan. They attacked in two directions at the same time. Xinguang and Xuan was sneaked up to the sentry's feet. They killed the sentry when he was unprepared. Toshiro got his gun and shot twice in the air, waiting quietly for the special forces to gather. A gun can't even hurt him. They don't measure themselves in attack in close quarters. Then he pulled out his shovel. Originally it was a shovel for the ground, but in his hands became a deadly weapon. The other side of the battle went well too, but Xian Wu encountered a complex problem. He couldn't bear to shoot and kill the little girl, but he didn't know that she was a phantom-trained killer. Xuan Wu eventually died because of his kind heart. The female assassin hides behind a tree and waits for Toshiro to arrive. He didn't even need a weapon to deal with a little girl. With just one hand, he could beat her. The female assassin was not convinced. She stripped off her clothes and wanted to die with him. Just as she pressed the switch, death did not happen, because Toshiro had just cut the fuse. Then a punch shattered her internal organs. At the same time, Phantom sent his top killer, Eagle Claw Demon, to deal with Toshiro. This man is Toshiro's former partner in life and death. Their strength is comparable. Because both of them assisted the Phantom, the Yakuza became the most powerful gangster in Japan overnight. But in the end, because of Toshiro's betrayal, they turned against each other. The Eagle Claw Demon didn't even spare his people. He is very vicious. Because of Toshiro's speed, to avoid fewer casualties, they had to give up their guns and fight in close quarters. This made it easy for Toshiro to kill them. He had taken out thousands of thugs. Support came in again. To save the girl as soon as possible, he had to take out his long-buried wolf claw knife. The killing spree begins. After a fight, he finally eliminated all the thugs in the jungle, but when he was about to head for the Yakuza's lair, his former life partner was already behind him. Toshiro had no time to worry. Then they arrived at the gang's lair. Toshiro killed the guards in the hallway with his wolf claw knife. Then he broke down the door and found the girl. At that moment, the two held each other like father and daughter, but Toshiro knew. The Eagle Claw Demon and Phantom must die. They should be able to live in peace. There should be an end to all this. He left the little girl in the care of Qinglong. He continued to fight, waiting for the appearance of the Eagle Claw Demon. The moment the killers fell, that was the beginning of the duel between them. They both knew each other best. For dozens of rounds, they were evenly matched. Eagle Claw threw out his cloak, blocking Toshiro's view. When he was unprepared, he locked his throat with a move. This was when the two of them had a contest of brute strength. Toshiro's face was cut with a gash. He spun around and untied the restraints. Then he reached out and slashed his veins with his left hand. He declared war on his former brother. Toshiro picked up his wolf claw sword and was about to fight back, but he was dazzled by his opponent. He was in a trance and received a punch. Toshiro took this as an opportunity. He closed his eyes and waited for his attack. The unaware Eagle Claw Demon wanted to seal his throat with a claw, but Minro's wolf claw caught him. The moment he opened his eyes, it was also the moment his opponent's life ended. Only Phantom was left in the Yamaguchi gang. Toshiro had a hallucination when he looked at him. The Phantom had used hypnosis on him. While he was in a trance, Phantom drew his dagger and stabbed him in the throat. Toshiro dodged it. The Phantom didn't expect him to be invulnerable to poison. The little girl lived a peaceful life from then on, and Toshiro watched over her from the shadows. This is the end of the story. Please subscribe to my channel. Share different movies and videos every day.